Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Tracy Beaker. That sounds a bit stupid, like the start of a sloppy fairy story. I can't stand fairy stories. They're all the same. If you're very good and very beautiful with long golden curls, then, after sweeping up a few cinders or having a long kip in a cobwebby place, the prince comes along and you live happily ever after. Which is fine if you happen to be a goody-goody and look gorgeous, but if you're bad and ugly, then you've got no chance whatsoever. You get given a silly name like Rumpelstiltskin, and nobody invites you to their party, and no one's ever grateful, even when you do them a whole whopping great favour. So of course you get a bit cheesed off with this sort of treatment. You stamp your feet in a rage and fall right through the floorboards, or you scream yourself into a frenzy, and you get locked up in a tower and they throw away the key. I've done a bit of stamping and screaming in my time, and I've been locked up heaps of times. Once they locked me up all day long, and all night. That was at the first home, when I wouldn't settle because I wanted my mum so much. I was just little then, but they still locked me up. I'm not fibbing, although I do have a tendency to tell a few fibs now and again. It's funny. Auntie Peggy used to call it telling fairy stories. I'd say something like, "Guess what, Auntie Peggy? I just met my mum in the back garden. She gave me a ride in her flash new sports car, and we went down the shopping arcade, and she bought me my very own huge bottle of scent, like posh poison one, just like the bottles Uncle Sid gave you for your birthday. And I was messing about with it, playing murderers, and the bottle sort of tipped and it went all over me, as I expect you've noticed, but it's my secret, not yours. I don't know what's happened to yours. I think one of the other kids took it." You know, that sort of thing. I'd make it dead convincing, but Auntie Peggy wouldn't even listen properly. She'd just shake her head at me and get all cross and red and say, "Oh, Tracy, you naughty girl, you're telling fairy stories again." Then she'd give me a smack. Foster mothers aren't supposed to smack you at all. I told Elaine that Auntie Peggy used to smack me, and Elaine sighed and said, "Well, sometimes, Tracy, you do ask for it," which is a lie in itself. I have never in my life said, "Auntie Peggy, please will you give me a great big smack?" And after her smacks really hurt too, right on the back of your legs where it stings most. I didn't like that Auntie Peggy at all. If I was in a real fairy story, I'd put a curse on her, a huge wart right on the ends of her nose. Frogs and toads come wriggling out of her mouth every time she tries to speak. No, I can make up better stories than that. She'd have a permanent huge great bogies hanging out of her nose that wouldn't be able to go away no matter how many times she blows it. And whatever she tries to speak, she'll make this great terribly loud rude noise. Oh dear, you can't win. Elaine, my stupid old social worker, was sitting beside me when I started writing The Story of Tracy Beaker, and I got the giggles making up my brilliant curses for Auntie Peggy, and Elaine looked surprised and said, "What are you laughing at, Tracy?" I said, "Mind your own business," and she said, "Now, Tracy," and then she looked at what I'd written, which is a bit of a cheek, seeing as it's supposed to be private. She sighed when she got to the Auntie Peggy part and said, "Really, Tracy?" And I said, "Yes, really, Elaine." And she sighed again, and her lips moved for a moment or two. That's her taking a deep breath and counting up to 10. Social workers are supposed to do that when a child is being difficult. Elaine ends up doing that an awful lot. And an awful lot of counting when she's with me. When she counts to 10, she gave me this big full smile, like this. That was an extract from Tracy Beaker. I hope you enjoyed it.